One of my things, whether or not the audience knows about it, I know about the character's past, and I just want the actors to know. Now, the audience doesn't need to know.
I like the fact that there are little secrets in the movie, you know. If I had said drugs were in the case, or if I had said money, or counterfeit money, or real money, or gold bars, or Christ's ashes, you know, whatever I said was in that case, all right, it would have put this, you know, the scene would have taken a different tone if you knew what was in it.
I like the idea that you open up the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, and I don't tell you what's in there.
We happy?
But it's up to you to figure out what's in there, and now that's your movie. In the briefcase that Marcellus Wallace is trying to get, when you open it up, when you look in it, it's...
I'm super excited to tell you all exactly what is in the case in Pulp Fiction. No mystery to it, no vague terms. He knew exactly what was in it when he wrote it, and he's keeping it a secret all these years. 30 years later, let's finally reveal what's in the case. It is Elvis's gold lame suit. During a press tour, he wore this suit that was interlaced with gold lame. That's what's reflecting up onto the face of Vincent and to Pumpkin when he opens it.
We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
So Marcellus Wallace is an Elvis man. That's why he wants Elvis's gold lame suit. There's two types of people according to a deleted scene.
There's only two kinds of people in the world. Beatles people and Elvis people. Now, Beatles people can like Elvis, and Elvis people can like Beatles, but nobody likes them both equally. Somewhere, you have to make a choice, and that choice tells you who you are.
Alternately, Jules is a Beatles man. He doesn't care what's in the case. He's not mesmerized by it. He doesn't even look at what's in it. And he calls Pumpkin Ringo, the drummer for the Beatles.
Okay, Ringo, you win.
That's all I've got.
We also know he's a Beatles man because his name is Jules, short for Julian, which was the name of John Lennon's son, who Hey Jude is in reference to.
Love-hate with it, I have to say.
And Vincent is an Elvis man. And this illustrates the difference that Quentin Tarantino sees in the two characters. Beatles men are sensitive, capable of change, and Elvis men are stalwart, surly. They don't accept change. They don't accept critique or commentary. They lash out violently, and they have a tendency to live fast and die young, as Christian Slater's character says in True Romance at the very beginning in the opening monologue.
In Jailhouse Rock, he was everything rockabilly's about. No, I mean, he is rockabilly. Mean, surly, nasty, rude. In that movie, he couldn't give a fuck about nothing. Just rocking and rolling, living fast, dying young, leaving a good-looking corpse, you know?
He fashions himself after Elvis as well. That's why he imagines his imaginary character is Elvis in the gold lame suit.
You think a cop gives a fuck about a pimp?
So, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna say goodnight. I've had a very lovely evening.
This reference is taken from one of the biggest influences on this movie, which is Jim Jarmusch's Mystery Train. This is a movie that Quentin Tarantino takes the idea of three stories about one story from. And in the second story, these two women in a hotel room are visited by the disapparated spirit of Elvis wearing the gold lame suit.
Whoa, where am I?
I'm on the intercom.
Where is the intercom?
Why are these people Elvis men? Well, it's based on the movie Breathless in the 1980s, starring Richard Gere, which was a remake of the Jean-Luc Godard French New Wave version of it, which Tarantino, he calls the 1980s version one of the coolest movies ever made. This is about an Elvis man. It's about this guy on a self-destructive path. Fast and leave a good-looking corpse. This is the credo of Vincent, who's a pig. Throughout the film, there's references to pigs. During the domestic violence...
Pig.
In the room where he's looking for the black book, there's a game called Chauvinist Pig.
What are you looking for? A little black fucking medical book. It's like a...
Vincent is defending pork.
I wouldn't go so far as to call a dog filthy, but they're definitely dirty. But dogs got personality. Personality goes a long way.
So by that rationale, if a pig had a better personality, he'd cease to be a filthy animal. Is that true?
Well, we have to be talking about one charming motherfucking pig.
One of the main overwhelming themes of Tarantino's works are not every dog deserves to live, but every pig has to die. Vincent is a pig. That's why he defends pork to Sam Jackson's character, who says that dogs are better because they have character. Mr. Wolf tells Monster Joe's daughter that just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character.
Respect for one's elders shows character.
I have character.
Because you are a character doesn't mean that you have character.
That means that Vincent is a character, but he doesn't have character because he's not willing to change. He doesn't accept criticism. He lashes out violently to people who help him.
You know, if that favor means that I gotta take shit, then he can stick that favor straight up his ass. I don't care.
Is destined to die because of his dangerous lifestyle where he's a heroin addict. He obviously is constipated from it. He's constantly in the bathroom, and the bathroom gets him killed. Tim Roth says in a restaurant, you catch them with their pants down. He's constantly being caught with his pants down. That's how he ends up dying. And he doesn't acknowledge the miracle that happens that changes Sam Jackson's point of view. This movie is a cycle of violence. It's like Groundhog Day. Each segment is not only its own story, it's also its own separate incident that's sort of disjointed from the others because they're their own narrative, their own timeline. We know this because they're different. When we see the same scene twice, it's changed. Honey Bunny, in the first time when she announces to the crowd, she says,
"Everybody be cool, this is a robbery! Any of you fucking pricks move! And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!"
And in the second part where we see that, she says, "Any of you fucking pricks move and I'll execute every one of you motherfuckers." A slight change, but it's different. It's not the same chronology. We also know that because Tarantino has said that he's meant to keep the continuity error of having the bullet holes visible behind Vincent and Sam Jackson when they, after they execute Brett and the gang, and right before the Arquette sibling comes out of the bathroom and shoots at them. We see bullet holes already in the wall. He says it's intentional. Some people don't believe that, but I believe it because it's this cycle of violence, and most likely the first time around, the first story with Pumpkin and Honey Bunny and the first date, most likely things went different than the end of the movie goes because Sam Jackson steps out of the cycle of violence. One of the influences for this, I believe, is Groundhog Day, where he's locked into this cycle and he has to figure his way out. Sam Jackson winds up figuring his way out of the cycle. It at first seems like a Christian message, and in a lot of ways it is. It's about absolution, but the God of this is not the God of the Old Testament because the Bible's been rewritten in this. Another huge influence for this movie was the Star Trek episode that was going to be the basis of Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie, which is a world that has inherited a book about 1930s gangsters, and their whole society is based on that.
Now look, Cracker, we're taking over the whole ball of wax. And you cooperate with us, and maybe we'll cut you in for a piece of the action.
This is kind of like the Bible, which is different. It's Ezekiel 25:17, but it's totally rewritten. It's rewritten in the same way that is stated in the opening of The Bodyguard with Sonny Chiba, who was in Kill Bill Volume 1.
"And they shall know that I am Chiba, the bodyguard, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them."
Another main influence for this movie is The Princess Bride. We have the Man in Black, which is the Gimp. And also the Gimp represents this changing identity, just like the Man in Black. he was the Dread Pirate Roberts. And the Dread Pirate Roberts rotated. It was the same identity, but different people behind the mask. It was the mask that mattered.
Then he explained that the name was the important thing for inspiring the necessary fear.
And the Gimp obviously was not the first one. They called it Russell's old room. Then the Gimp was there. He's got no face. It's hidden behind a leather mask. And he points at Bruce Willis like, you're going to be me, and I get to die, basically. Like, he probably gets the absolution of death after that, which he's more than desirous of, based on being their sexual prisoner locked into a tiny cage all day. His posture's even all crumpled up from it. And that's why Bruce Willis rescues him, because even though he and Marcellus Wallace are enemies, he knows that he can't leave him to a fate worse than death that way, because he doesn't deserve it. And that's why Marcellus Wallace ends up forgiving him as well. He could have killed him when he stands up with that shotgun. The other aspect to The Princess Bride that's in this movie is Marcellus Wallace is also the Dread Pirate Roberts. It's the name that matters, Cary Elwes's character says in The Princess Bride.
Do you know who Marcellus Wallace is? Yeah. Do you?
Yeah. Two non-related characters. In this, it's Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. In The Princess Bride, it's the boy and his grandpa. And having those as bookends to the film. So he kind of elaborates on the three stories thing with these kind of bookends. And there's certain scenes that are replicated throughout this. Self-sacrifice, when enemies unite. The Princess Bride has people who were pitted as enemies against each other. Wesley was supposed to be killed by Inigo and Fezzik, but they wind up becoming friends because they make sacrifices for each other in order to save each other. And this is what Bruce Willis does in order to gain his absolution by saving Marcellus Wallace. And this is how Sam Jackson gains absolution by saving Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. So in Breathless, a couple things are borrowed in addition to Richard Gere being an Elvis man and being into Silver Surfer comic. He borrows a prop from Breathless. There's a scene where Richard Gere steals a car. He finds a silver pistol inside of it. This is the same silver pearl-handled pistols that Vincent and Jules wield. It's the same prop. So he borrowed the prop from that movie, he borrowed the character from the movie, and he also borrowed the idea of an accidental shooting. You know, kind of this gut instinct shooting from the hip. Marcellus Wallace is concealing the fact that he's a homosexual. He does this because this is a very homophobic time.
Sent a couple of cats over to his place. They took him out on his patio, threw his ass over the back.
You remember Antoine Rockamora? Half black, half Samoan. Used to call him Tony Rocky Howard.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
She started one of the ones that became nothing.
Would you give a guy a foot massage?
Fuck you.
You tried to fuck. And Marcellus Wallace don't like to be fucked by anybody except Mrs. Wallace.
I don't know why I just thought he'd be European or something because he...
Yeah, man, he's about as European as fucking English Bob.
I know that now.
Boys, this here's English Bob.
Shit, frog eggs. You want that gun, don't you, Zed? Can I pick it up? Come on, that up, boy.
You want that gun? Pick it up. I wish you would.
Martin Scorsese directed this documentary about this guy, Stephen Prince, who played the gun dealer who sells Travis Bickle his guns in Taxi Driver.
Isn't that a little honey?
This guy tells crazy stories about his life. He shoots a guy to death, blows him through the door, just like is described, just like what happens to Vincent.
He came in that door. He went out. Okay? I blew him out past into the pumps. I blew him between ethyl and regular. Seriously. The main question on their minds was, why did I shoot the man 6 times? Because obviously the one shot killed the sucker.
I don't feel the least bit bad about it.
And he also administers the adrenaline shot. That's taken directly from Stephen Prince's story. He tells that exact story in the exact same details.
This girl once OD'd. He says, well, you're going to have to give her an adrenaline shot. I said, what are you talking about? I said, you give it to her. He says, I can't. It's like a doctor working on someone in his own family. I said, that's bullshit. You've known her 2 days. What the fuck is that? Magic marker. Made a magic marker on where her heart was. Medical dictionary. You know how you give an adrenaline shot? Okay, your adrenaline needle's like about that big, and you got to give it into the heart. And you have to put it in a stabbing motion, and she came back like that. She just came right back like that.
So that's another influence. So again, Pulp Fiction is not just an original idea. The original idea of it is to accumulate all of these original ideas together. You know, ideas derived from other people. So he stitches them all together. And this becomes the template for movies after this. The Quick and the Dead is a combination of High Noon, Once Upon a Time in the West, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Tombstone, and Unforgiven. It's a conglomeration of all those movies. So there's a long-lasting impact of Pulp Fiction on other films as well. So this cycle of violence in this Groundhog Day style is broken by Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson is the one capable of absolution because he's a Beatles man. And Beatles are all about change. They constantly were adapting their character, and they have a beautiful insight into life.
It's in the case.
My boss is dirty laundry.
Your boss makes you do his laundry?
When he wants it clean.
Sounds like a shit job.
And that makes complete sense.
Yes!
That makes complete sense. And it changes how you see the whole movie.
But you can see why I didn't want everyone to know that, because I like them all making their own movie, but...
I gotta go back and watch it now.
You gotta watch it now. Now it all makes,
actually changes every movie you've ever made.
Yeah, I think it does, actually. Because it doesn't just apply to Pulp Fiction, it applies to all of them.
That's awesome.
Then, basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean, walk the earth?
Rufus? Who was that you used to play for?
Rufus Thomas.
Rufus Thomas. Rufus Thomas.
I was a drill, I was a drifter, I was a coaster, I was part of the gang, I was
I always said if I had to fuck a guy, had to, if my life depended on it, I'd fuck Elvis.